Hello everybody and welcome to my living room. For a change, we've got a laptop, so we're gonna do it as it was intended and start using it on my lap. So for absolutely ever, since I've used a computer, I've used Windows. I have never touched a Mac in my life, and that's not like exaggerated. I have literally never clicked an icon on a Mac of any kind in the 38 years that I've been alive. My first computer was Windows 95. It was like a family computer. My first computer that I owned, which was mine, was in about 2004, and I believe that was Windows XP, if I remember rightly. And since then, Vista, 10, 11, everything, I've been Windows 100%. Super big PC gamer, super into building my own stuff and getting everything working how I want it to work. So a Mac has never appealed to me. I was the classic, it's overpriced, it's crazy, you can get way better specs for your money if you buy a PC. But I was an iPhone user. So I've always appreciated the quality and the build and the materials used in an Apple product. And when I've looked at Macs and seen them, they've always looked so nice and built so nice. But it just never seemed like something I needed or wanted. Most of what I do on a computer is done on my desktop, and anything that I needed to do away from my computer is done on my phone. And it's always been that way really, because Windows laptops just are not really an option for the things I use a computer for. Lightroom, Photoshop, playing games, video editing, DaVinci Resolve. It's not really a feasible thing while also having portability. The Windows laptops that are capable of that are not so portable, and the battery life doesn't last long enough for them to really be feasible as a portable device. So ever since the M1 MacBooks came out, it's been something that has really sort of got my attention. I'm thinking the efficiency, the everything, the battery life, just the raw power that they have in this tiny little thing is actually crazy from looking at the benchmarks. But could I get into using one? Now we're on the M3 series chips, and I've finally decided it's the time. I'm gonna buy a MacBook. Yes, I've bought it and paid for it, and I'm gonna see how good it is for me, how useful is it for me, and how much of my desktop computer can I replace with this tiny little thing. Is it really possible to replace a desktop with this? My desktop is huge upstairs, we'll go up later, but I'm super curious just how good it can be. So I've been going on for ages. You're probably wondering, what MacBook did you get? It is the M3 Pro MacBook Pro, 14-inch. You could tell it's that because of the color, right? Space black. It's beautiful. Can I just say, it is beautiful. It feels amazing. It is just, you want to touch it, you know? It's like an iPhone without a case on. You just want to touch it. It's just so nice. That I haven't used it yet, but it just feels so nice. And I went with the base model specs, the 16 gigabytes of RAM, and the 512 gig SSD. I couldn't bring myself to pay that extra £200 for a terabyte. I would have really liked the terabyte. I like the idea of having all the storage I need in here. I don't have to carry around an SSD. I do like the idea of that, but I couldn't bring myself to pay £200, £400 for a 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte SSD. So I went with the base model. I've got external storage if I need it. I'm also hoping I can network it up to my computer, which has got a ton of storage, and almost use my computer kind of like a NAS of some description, where I can, over the network, copy and paste files from this to the computer if I need to sort of store them long term. So that's what I'm doing. That's what this is about. And this is my first 24 hours with a MacBook. Okay, so I'm in. Everything's good. A little bit of weirdness with not being able to tap to click things. You have to press down. Not used to that yet. I'm gonna have to look in settings. But I'm logged in, on my Apple ID is linked. Everything seems to be syncing up. Very great experience. The screen, oh my God, the screen. The quality of the screen is just a whole nother level, right? It doesn't look real, like, it doesn't look real. It feels so nice, everything. The keyboard's nice. It's not my mechanical keyboard, but for a laptop, it's really nice. But the first thing I actually want to do is check the Wi-Fi speed, because I've got a Wi-Fi 6E network here, and barely anything that I own uses Wi-Fi 6E. So I'm super curious of how this is going to work. So I think I've worked out how to record my screen, and I'm going to just head over to speed test and see what happens, right? The first thing is the enter key is weird, by the way. That small little enter key is really strange. But let's see what Wi-Fi 6E does when I'm sat 3 feet from the router. Let's see what we get. I hope I'm recording this. Do I want it to use my current location? There we go. So we're getting 900 nearly. 900 meg, wait, it's gone over 900. 920 meg download. And what, 700 is still going up. It's going to go to 800, isn't it? 800 upload. 900 upload, is it going to get to 9? It's going to get to 9. 900 upload. That's craziness. The fact that that's even a thing nowadays. Could you, a few years ago, could you imagine a time where you're getting 900 meg download speed on Wi-Fi? That is insanity. So, okay, I'm happy with that. That works absolutely great, right? Absolutely great. And it did record as well. I'm hoping I can figure out a way that it records with sound also, because that'll make it much easier for me to sync these two videos, that video with the camera, right? I also just want to try and hear the speakers, because we haven't heard the speakers yet. That's the other thing that lots of people say is amazing, right? The speakers. Oh, I'm getting so confused here with Windows on top of Windows, though. It's strange, right? So I'm going to go to Stream Beats on YouTube, and how do I start a screen recording? I searched for it last time. So Command Space is very useful, and I can just search for screenshot and that brings it up. I don't know, record entire screen, and press it and it starts recording. There we go. I'm not logged into my YouTube yet, but that's fine. Stream Beats. How does it sound? How do I? Volume. Okay, volume just works. You don't actually have to press control or command or anything. Where is all that noise coming from this tiny little thing? I thought it was an exaggeration when everyone was saying the speakers are like beyond physics, but how? Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. That's mad. That's actually blown my mind. That's on full volume too, and it's not like distorted or anything. It's just clean and it just sounds good. I mean, it's a little bit thin, not like when I've got my nice IEMs in or something, do you know what I mean? Or probably even AirPods sound more full and thicker, I guess, but wow, that, don't know what to say about that. Right, okay, so I've been playing around for a while now, just sitting here using it as it's intended in one piece, like a laptop, right? That's what I mean. Like, I haven't got it on my desk or anything. I've just been using it as a laptop on my lap, getting things set up. I've made several notes here of things that are good, things that are annoying to me. The annoying things I think are not using macOS before, right? I know how to do everything in Windows. I'm so experienced in Windows. I know every shortcut. I know everything. I can find exactly what I want at any time. And I am struggling a little bit with this one, right? Just because things are different, I guess. But hopefully I'll get used to it a bit. But there's some things that are just, I think they're just dumb. But let me run through it anyway. Let me run through it. So first up, notifications don't go away on their own. Every time you do something or you start a new app for the first time and it gives you like a warning notification or like just a notification about anything, it comes up in the top right of the screen. And on Windows, it would come up for like a few seconds and then it would just go away. On Mac, it doesn't come up and then go away. It just stays there forever and you have to go over and manually click the little X to get rid of it. I find that annoying. If I'm looking at the screen and a notification comes up, I'm going to see it. I don't need it to stay there indefinitely. It's small, but it's annoying. I can't find what I've got open. There's so many things open, and obviously the way you close things, they stay open. You click the red X and it doesn't close it, it stays open. So I've established that Command Q actually quits something, but I'm ending up with just piles and piles of things on top of things on top of things, and I can't figure out what's going on. Then I opened Activity Monitor up, which I finally figured out what that was. Spotlight search didn't really help me with that. I was searching for resources, system monitor, searching for all these different words, couldn't find it. I had to go to Google and found out it was called Activity Monitor. When I put in Activity Monitor, it came up and it worked. At that point, I realized I had even more things open than I thought, because they don't always even show in your dock if they're open, if they've been hidden, which is strange. Again, I need to get my head around it, but right now it's annoying me. Full screen, when you click the green button for full screen, it takes over everything. That's not what I want. I want it to just fill the space available. I've now established that double clicking on the top of the sort of window will put it to that kind of full screen that I need, which is fine. That works. I'm guessing there's probably a shortcut for it. I don't know. Hopefully there is, but I don't know what it is yet. But yeah, just weird, different. I'm not used to it. Opening new tabs into Safari, the layout just feels awkward compared to every other browser. I've only ever used Safari on mobile before, so that's strange. I know I could install a different browser, but I kind of want to use Safari and get all the sync features and stuff going on there with my phone and stuff. So I'm trying to get used to it, but that was weird. Obviously, I figured out that Command Tab is open new tab, like Control Tab would be on Windows, so I can get around that. But one thing I didn't, backspace to go back in Safari doesn't work. So there's several times now where out of sheer habit, I've pressed backspace to try and go back and it doesn't do anything. I tried Command backspace, that didn't work either. I don't know, there's so many modify keys, I don't know what to press. I want to go back with backspace. Now, the clicking the dock icon opens something from the dock. It brings it up on the screen. But when you click it again, it doesn't go away again. A habit maybe from Windows, but I guess it's not major. I can click it and then I can press Command H to hide it again, or I can press Command Q to quit it. But I'm very used to just clicking it once and it opens it, and if I click it again, like if you open the wrong thing, for example, you click it and on Windows you just click the dock again or the taskbar and it goes away, but it's not happening this time. The upside down scroll, really strange. Down goes up and up goes down. It works like your phone would work, right? That was really, really confusing to begin with, but after like 5 minutes, I've got completely used to it. Now, I'm hoping that doesn't replicate when I connect the mouse to it, because that would be really weird. If not, I'm sure you can reverse it somewhere in settings. And then another thing, where the hell is the picture folder? Where does it live on this computer? I opened up the camera app, which is called, what's it called again? Photo Booth. I opened that up. I couldn't find that to start with. I was searching camera and spotlight, and I was searching take a picture and all sorts of things, and it wasn't working. So I then had to open up what's it called? Launchpad. I don't know the words for any of these things. I had to open up Launchpad to then scroll through the icons and figure out which one do I take a photo with. I just wanted to test what the camera looked like. I took a photo and then it said I can save it in the pictures folder, which I did. And then I couldn't find the pictures folder anywhere. Where does it live? On Finder, I've got AirDrop, Recents, Applications, Desktop, Documents. It's not in Documents. And when you go back, it just goes to your previous one rather than going up one tier in the folders. It just goes to whichever one you were on before. Where do I get my main hard drive? Like the top tier folder, which is the actual drive itself. How do I get to that? I can't find it. I literally can't find it. That's one I haven't Googled yet, but just to show you what I'm going through here, I cannot find it. I cannot find it. Eventually, I searched for pictures in Spotlight, which gave me the pictures folder, and I could then get to the picture that I took on the camera, which is okay. That's all my annoyances so far. I've then got a category for good and awesome. The only thing I've got in good right now is the keyboard. Not amazed with it. Really, really good for a laptop keyboard. Not as nice as my mechanical keyboard that I'm used to typing on. However, obviously, when I put this on the desk and use it with a keyboard, that will be fine. But the layout is super weird. I'm guessing it's because it's Mac layout, right? But it's like halfway between an ANSI and an ISO keyboard. Like on my mechanical keyboard that I use daily at home is a American layout keyboard. So it's got the long, wide enter key. Very used to it now. But I also, at work, use a normal British layout with the big, funny shaped enter key, whatever you would call it, right? I'm used to both of those layouts, and this is neither really, because it's got the big enter key, but then the @ symbol for emails addresses is on the 2, whereas on a UK layout it would be next to the enter key, but on an American layout it's on the 2, so that's where it would be. So it's like half and half between two different layout keyboards, and it's really weird, and it's just a third keyboard that I've now got to get used to, because I use, like I say, I use American layout at home and I use British layout at work. But on Windows, I also toggle between British and American just to get the pound symbol, basically, the UK pound symbol. If I want to type the pound symbol, which is $1 on number 3 on an American keyboard, because I have an American keyboard and I use that layout, I use the Windows and space key is the shortcut to switch between different keyboard layouts. So I have both on there. So if I want to type a pound symbol, I press Windows space, Shift 3, Windows space, and it goes back to American layout, and I carry on doing what I was doing. But yeah, this is just a mixture of the two, so it's weird. It's going to be a third keyboard layout I have to get used to. And this is neither. And fingerprints on the keyboard are real. The actual chassis doesn't seem to be showing too many fingerprints, but either I have really oily hands or the keys just show fingerprints. The command key looks nasty already, and it's been an hour maybe. Battery life is doing good. It was at like 75% when I started, and I've been doing everything, loading everything, syncing everything, and it's at 68%, very impressed. Then we get onto the awesome category. The screen is ridiculous. It doesn't look real. I don't know how to explain it. It's a retina display, right? But even compared to my phone, like, I guess it's as high quality, but I opened the Photos app, and it had synced all my photos from iCloud on my phone, which was great. I opened a photo that I'd taken on my phone in full screen, and it looked like a completely different photo. Like, it looked so good compared to how it looked on my phone screen, and compared to my computer monitors as well. Like, the colors and the brightness and the contrast, and it just blew my mind. The screen has blown my mind several times just looking at it. It's almost like I'm looking at something that's, I say it doesn't look real, but it almost looks like it's something real. It doesn't look like a screen, and I guess that's the whole point of Retina. I I feel like I now need to get a studio retina display or something for my desk, which I definitely cannot afford right now, but it looks so good. The trackpad is really nice. Best trackpad I've ever used on anything. The swipe gestures I'm starting to get used to. So I can't press backspace in Safari to go back, but I can swipe back like I would on my iPhone. I'm not going to have that option when I'm at my desk though. So is this why Mac users have trackpads on their desks? Maybe do I have to buy one of those too? Is it another Apple product I need to buy? Like what do I need? Or can I make backspace work somehow? I don't know. Again, there probably is answers to a lot of these things, but this is just as a first going into it, using it. These are the things that I'm struggling with, okay? I'll get used to it. I know I will. I would adapt, but right now, this is the stuff that's frustrating me. But yeah, the screen is absolutely ridiculous. The trackpad is really, really nice. I noticed in settings, there's actually a function to enable tap to click. But actually, I've got used to the like force touch clicking now. And so when I found that setting, I didn't enable it for now. I'm going to see how I get on just by clicking. I feel like with Apple, like there's a lot of things that they have as features that are enabled or disabled, and that's because that's how they've designed it, right? So I'm going to try and use it as much as I can how they've designed it. I have disabled that weird, what they call, I guess it was called a genie animation when you minimize something. I don't need that. I've just got the normal scaling one now. I swapped that. I've been going through all the settings, tinkering with stuff, you know. The speakers, insane. Again, like the screen and the speakers are just ridiculous. So good, so good. I can't describe it. I'm and ahhing a lot here, but it's just so good. I can't explain. I cannot explain. And then finally, I noted just all the physical elements of the actual thing, how it's made, how it sort of closes, how everything just works. The Touch ID, I really like that too. Just everything physically about it. It's a solid, really nice. It just feels nice. It looks nice. It's beautiful. The engraving on the bottom where it says MacBook Pro, when it's like engraved, like chiseled into the aluminium, absolutely awesome. The build quality of it is just great, second to none. All right, and that's what Apple do. That's why I love my iPhone. That's why I use AirPods all the time. I've now got the watch as well, which I only got recently. I've had it a month or so, but I'm getting sucked in, Apple. I'm getting sucked into the ecosystem, right? There's going to be things like I've installed Bitwarden onto here, which is the password manager that I use, and the reason I use that is because it's cross-compatible with Windows and iPhone, so it'll also be cross-compatible with Mac as well, which is good. But the seamless nature of iCloud keychain between the Mac and the phone, it now makes me annoyed that my PC I'm going to have to use Bitwarden, and I've now got to use Bitwarden on all of them when I could use iCloud keychain, but because I need it to also work with Windows, I have to use Bitwarden. It's like the ecosystem is like making me annoyed at things that I can't fully utilize because I have a Windows computer, right? So next step is to take it upstairs, put it on a desk. I'm going to try connect it to a monitor and keyboard mouse and see how I get on with it. Hopefully it's good, and then eventually I plan to try and edit this video on it in DaVinci Resolve. There's still a lot more things I need to set up, a lot of software that I want to install, and a lot of things I want to play with. I really want to get my head around it. I'm going to keep taking notes as I'm using it, and I'll come back and catch up with you in a bit. Probably once I've been upstairs, and we'll try it on the monitor and stuff. But yeah, that's my first impressions. I know I'm rambly. I'm just trying to let it all out. If you've got tips or help, please get in the comments and let me know. But yeah, we'll catch up in a minute. Okay, so after all of that and all of the focusing in and out, which does continue a little bit throughout the video, I apologise. I came upstairs and I had bought a cheap little laptop stand. It was like £11 on Amazon or something, just to be able to position it next to my monitor and have a decent desk set up. So I put that together, got the laptop on there and tried plugging it into a USB-C cable to see what happened. and to see if it would work. So the monitor I have is a BenQ EX2780Q, and it has USB-C input. Unfortunately, it only has 10 watts power output on it, so I'm still gonna have to plug a separate power cable into it. I will get a dock at some point to make life easier, right? But this is what happened. So a little bit messy, but we're all set up. The MacBook is connected to the monitor by USB-C, and we can see it's pulled it in at 2560 by 1440, instantly went to 144 Hertz, and I managed to turn on HDR, and that works too. Now it does look very, not pixelated, it looks like a 1440p 27-inch monitor, right? But after you've been looking at this thing for so long, this looks like something else. But the desk is messy, the keyboard is charging, so I didn't realise it was dead, but that is actually paired by Bluetooth. The SteelSeries Aerox 3 mouse is paired by Bluetooth, and we're in business on the desk setup. I then tried to put the camera and connect it to the MacBook to download some footage from the video earlier, and I had a bit of a problem. I couldn't get it to connect by a USB cable, which is how I work. I don't take SD cards out. I have a really big SD card in my camera, and I tend to just plug the camera into the computer previously, but now into the MacBook, and copy the files across, but it wouldn't work. I'll show you. Okay, so the next weird thing, I've plugged my camera in, USB mass transfer protocol seems to be working okay from that side of things, but where is it? Nothing's appeared on the desktop, nothing's appeared in Finder. It's not there anywhere, so I thought maybe it just wasn't being recognized, but if I open up system information, you can see ZVE10 up to 5 gigabits per second transfer is showing up in there, so it's recognized it, but I can't get any files off it. It's just not there anywhere. I literally cannot get the files off it. I don't know if I'm being silly or if I'm missing something. Is it somewhere else? I don't know. But I can't find it. I've even checked the Finder settings to see if it's something that I can show. Like, do I have to like show it in here, but nothing comes up in here? External disks is checked. I don't know. I can't find it. I'm gonna have to try and put the SD card straight into the Mac, but that's weird. I don't understand. I put the SD card in and it's come up straight away, literally instantly. If I can find the files, there they all are. There's all the files that are on the SD card, but I can't connect to the camera. What am I doing wrong? I don't understand. This, my normal workflow is to plug the camera in so I don't keep taking the SD card in and out, but I guess I can't do that. So it's been up and down. A few other things that I wanted to mention. The animations on the software are so slick. They're just so nice. It's just a little touch. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. It does nothing. It makes no difference, but it just feels nice. The one that really got me was when I was playing a video on YouTube earlier, and I put it to picture in picture because that's a thing apparently. I was playing it in YouTube, and I pressed the maximize button for it to go back into YouTube, and the way it kind of like blooped into YouTube back to where it was in the page was just amazing. It blew my mind. And it was just a little silly little thing, right? But it's just those little things that make it like an enjoyable experience, just playing around with the operating system. Now there's a lot of stuff that has frustrated me and I can't get my head around it, and it's going to take time, but nothing major at all. Update now apparently means update now. I went into settings and it said there was an update available, so I pressed update now and it said downloading, preparing. Now on Windows, at the end of that preparing install, it says about to restart your computer, would you like to continue? And you can like delay it, remind me later or whatever, and carry on using your computer. This doesn't give you that option. Once you've pressed update now, even though it took a good 10-15 minutes to download and prep the files, it just black screen straight away. Couldn't carry on. I expected a warning. I will know next time there won't be a warning, and I'll make sure it's not when I'm in the middle of doing something, right? Auto brightness was acting kind of weird. I like the idea of auto brightness, but I was sitting where there was a window behind me, and as the sun changed in the window, the brightness on the screen would change, and it wasn't a big enough difference in brightness. It was going really dim, as if I was in a dark room, because there was a change in brightness, but it wasn't really a dark room, and it was making it very difficult to see the screen. I found myself having to manually up the brightness. That was a bit weird, but it might have just been the exact place I was sitting. I haven't noticed it anywhere else when I've been using the computer, but when I was sat in that specific spot, that was bugging me and it was annoying, and I ended up just manually setting the brightness up a bit so I could actually see the screen. Obviously I had the issue with the camera that I've just shown you there. I don't know the answer to that one. I still can't find an answer to that one. It still doesn't work. I've tried different cables. I've tried turning the camera on and off. I've tried turning the computer on and off. I've tried several things. I can't get it to connect by mass transfer protocol to the camera. The SD card thing works, but like I say, it's not how I want to do it. I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it the way I normally do it, with a cable. But I can't get it to work. So any ideas on that, I'd love to hear. And then really the last thing was the first 2 minutes like intro clip to this video. I edited it while sitting on the sofa while Laura was cooking dinner for me. And I was in DaVinci Resolve. I didn't make any proxies. I was working with 4K files, H.265 from the iPhone, and H.264 100 megabit from my Sony camera, the XAVS format, if you're interested. And it just worked. On my PC, so my PC has a Ryzen 7700X and an RTX 3070 graphics card. So not the most crazy graphics cards. Pretty beefy processor. It's the newest Ryzen gen processor, right, on the new platform with DDR5 memory and all that. It can't do that. I have to make proxies. Every time I start editing a video, I have to copy all the files to the computer, and then I have to generate proxies for the whole thing, walk away for half an hour, whatever it is, while it generates proxies, depending on the video, then come back and edit, and I get a more smooth experience editing. But the MacBook didn't care. It just took the files and ate them up and let me just smooth timeline playback all the way through, scrubbing through, really super smooth. Honestly, I'm amazed. I was on the sofa, running off the battery, just chilling, using the trackpad. It's actually not bad editing on that trackpad, to be honest. I'm surprised. But I just can't believe that that's a thing you can do nowadays. It just seems unreal that that's even possible. The performance in that and the performance in Lightroom and Photoshop also far outweighs my PC. It's just crazy that it's a tiny little thing and I'm doing such crazy stuff. Like, it's honestly mind-blowing. I cannot believe it. And the last bit on that is the battery life as well. So when I came up here, I'd been using it, playing around with it downstairs. I came back up and put it on charge for a bit. And then when I went down and sat on the sofa, it was on I think it was on about 65% battery. And after sitting there using it for ages, we did some shopping on it. It was nice to have a laptop. Me and Laura were passing it back and forth. She wanted to buy a new chair for the bedroom for her dressing table, and we were passing it back and forward looking at different chairs, and we ended up ordering a chair. That was a nice thing to have rather than doing everything on our phones or having to come out of the way and sit at the computer to be able to see it on a bigger screen. That was fun, but we were doing that. She then went off to make dinner, and I was editing this video for probably an hour. And then I stopped and had dinner, then I carried on and edited it some more. And I looked at the battery and it was on 49%. And it's like an hour and a half of editing from a battery running as powerfully as it was, and it had used like 15% of the battery. It's insane. It's actually, I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe it. So I think it's getting late now. I think that's probably it for my first 24 hours, right? I apologize for the dodgy video. I'm really disappointed, to be honest. I tried to do something a bit different in this video rather than me just sitting here, and it kind of backfired on me a little bit from filming in different environments to what I'm used to, a little bit from the excitement. I mean, it's the most expensive single thing I've probably ever bought in my life, this laptop, right? I've never bought a piece of tech, like my computer, I've bought it in parts and upgraded and things like that, you know. To buy this thing outright is just mad, right, for me. So there was a lot of excitement around having it and trying to record it and get my real first impressions as well at the same time. I missed a couple settings on the camera. You can see now, the camera, it doesn't matter what I do, the camera is locked onto my face, right? But I just had it set up wrong, and typically that was for the most important part of the video. So my apologies for that. I can't fix it now. I don't want to fake it and re-record it. I want it to be genuine, so at least that is out there. I promise I'll do better next time. I'm going to use this as my daily driver, right? The PC is going to be for games that I can't play on Mac only. Or if I'm streaming, I'm going to try and play the PC games on the PC and use the Mac to encode everything. That would be fun too, and it would take all the load of encoding off the PC, and I should be able to play without losing any FPS, which would be sweet. So really, the PC is now gonna, for the foreseeable future, is gonna be an elaborate games console, essentially, where I can still use a mouse and keyboard and be happy. Apart from that, I'm gonna try and do everything I can on the MacBook, whether it's at the desk or just using it as a laptop. It works so nice as a laptop though. It works on the desk, but there's something about that form factor, just using it as a laptop with the touchpad. It's an experience, right? It's an experience. So I'm very impressed. There's a lot to learn. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about how to use macOS today, and I'll be watching a lot more as well before my time is through. But yeah, apart from that, there's just one more thing to do. Here is the beast. It's so pretty, but it's so big compared to a MacBook. But I'm sorry, friend. Your time has come to a temporary end. I'll keep you up to date on how this goes. Stay tuned for more videos. Let's see how a MacBook performs as an every single day computer. Catch you soon, people.